Okay, so one, Umar, I appreciate you obviously for showing up, and for people watching this video, Umar is actually one of my students that got a job roughly yesterday. So on this call, he will just talk about his experience in the program and basically just go from there. So once again, I appreciate you for showing up. So can you introduce yourself and explain what you were doing before joining us?
Thank you for having me. My name is Omar Farouk Mafsal, and I mean, before I met Shola, I was worked at Barclays Bank, but more on like the help desk side. So I was trying to transition into something more technical, so it'll be easier to like find jobs and like have a better paying job. So I think around like November last year, I basically my company was doing like a lot of massive layoffs, and I got affected. So I basically took time and I went back home. I went to Ghana. Stayed there for a bit, and I actually found Shola's like TikTok video explaining like a lot of cloud concepts because I'd worked with Azure, and I also like took this Azure certification, AZ 104. So I was kind of familiar with like cloud concept, but I knew AWS is like one of the platforms that was like really used in the market. I actually wanted to move more into AWS, like get better with cloud engineering and like cloud security, because I did studying like a bit of cloud security on the AWS side. So I spoke to Shola and I told them, I'm currently out the country now. When I come back to New York, I'm going to basically send you a message and like get started. Basically, like in January, early January, I came back and I just started right away. I actually love the program because I'm somebody who likes to get ahead of a class. Because if I was doing the program like each week, joining in the class and stuff, I feel like I would be less engaged. But when I had like the whole recording of all the lessons, I was able to like dig in and start doing like the action plans. Because I think forgot how many was like the usual duration for the program.
About 2 months.
Yeah, I finished it in roughly like 2 months. I went through it quick. I remember I actually took time to go back to like the other projects that I did, and I did more of a deep dive, like making sure I understand each concept properly, and also using AI to study and stuff like that. And if I had a question, I always ask Shola. And we also had like the weekly Sunday classes that you could ask questions on concepts that you're stuck on. And you've also implemented the bot in Slack, so you're able to ask questions about projects that you're stuck on. Mm. Yeah, I'll say it was a great program because I got to learn so much in a short time because I wasn't working, so I had all the time in the world to like finish like three action plans in a day, and like also diving in, actually going back to like a lot of the projects that I did, and also basically making sure I understand each concept, like what an ECS is, why am I using an ECS, when do I need a Docker file, stuff like that. So I really love the program. And when it comes to like job preparation, it was like one of the best because um, when I was applying, I mean, after I finished all the steps and the action plans and the tech challenges, when I was getting ready for interviews, I would go back to the projects that I did and basically watch all the videos again, look through my explanations because every project that you do, you had to explain all the concepts and send it to Charlotte for him to make sure you understood everything that you were actually talking about and actually implemented. So from there, I was able to get like talking points and interviews and basically explaining my project because they would ask you questions about what you implemented instead of like what is like EC2. They're gonna be like, how do you spin off like a EC2? How do you back up your data? How do you secure your EC2 stuff like that? And I would say actually the best part of it was when we did the mock interview. Because I called Shola because I had different interviews. I mean, earlier that I hadn't recorded, but when I had that interview, I called him up and sent it to him, and he was like, "Oh, you should do. I mean, you will do great in this interview. But this is basically what we studied." And I sent him over like the job description, and I told him it was going to be a panel interview. So he basically popped out with a. He said, "Let's do the interview on Saturday." We did the interview and he popped up with like three extra people to basically give me the feel of like a panel interview. and he kept asking me questions. I'm correcting how I should answer some questions, and that really helped me because I would say the interview I had versus the technical interview that I had for the company I just got the job, his interview was harder than theirs, so it really prepared me for that interview.
Okay. Okay. So I appreciate that, and so I actually remember the first time we spoke, I think December, right? And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, in December,
yeah, then later
close
on.
to the end of the year.
Yeah, so it was December, and I think later on January 1st when you actually joined, and you add obviously some concerns about the skill set and all that, and obviously in terms of like the certifications too. So do you think that certification played any role in you landing this job?
They didn't ask me. I mean, I have certifications because I have a because I mean I would say I don't really have a certification that is related to cloud engineering. Honestly, I really have a cloud engineering certificate because I have more of a security side. So I have a AWS security specialty. I have a CompTIA Security Plus and also have the Azure 104. But they didn't ask me anything about certifications. They just asked because when they ask you the question, they're not gonna ask you how was it passing your Security Plus or what. They go straight to the point. They're like, how would you troubleshoot an access issue after you've given a user an IAM role, stuff like that. They weren't asking me what any questions that would appear on a certification.
Right.
As
Okay,
it's,
cool.
yeah, because the certification is not really practical. So the projects that you do that you have in your GitHub to basically explain in the interview is more important.
Right. So one, that's wardrobe, and when I tell people that certifications doesn't play any role in you landing a job, this is exactly what I mean. I mean, like during interviews, they care strictly, like literally based on what you have actually built, right? So yeah, that makes sense. And in terms of the program, what do you think actually made more sense, or at least stood out for you personally?
Yeah, I'd say I love the self-paced like learning because maybe people will be busy with work, so they would have to do it. I mean, they wouldn't have to like join in class in odd times. Like everybody in a different country could do it because you get to basically dive into the video whenever you have free time. And it's self-paced, so you have time to complete the program.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. And what made you? What was your thought process regarding making that decision regarding joining us at that time?
Yeah, I would say when I saw your video on TikTok, I loved how you like broke down cloud concepts and like breaking it down to like the nearest atom. Like it was very easy and it made a lot of sense. So I knew like when you explain stuff, I would definitely get it. So
Right.
that was perfect. And also it being self-paced, I knew I would have like time to actually dive in myself and not having to like worry about getting up in the morning and joining the class.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say the fact, I mean, how you explain concepts and also with it being like a project-based learning, like I wasn't going to just learn a lot of theory to get ready for a certification, but this time with more practical, I actually got to like implement my own websites, actually creating like my own portfolio and deploying it on an EC2. I'm running Apache, running Nginx, like stuff like that was really hands-on and it's like getting you ready for the job market.
For sure, for sure. And obviously, before joining us, you have experience with Azure. You are obviously being self-taught. So, what do you think is the difference between being self-taught and actually joining a internship?
Yeah, I think the best part about joining like your program, like your mentorship, is because you are. This is like way different because I would say when I did because I already did the cloud security mentorship. Even though I learned like I actually did some projects and stuff, but this time I'm not getting. I got it from like teachers instead of somebody who's actually in the field and knows what's going on in the field. He knows like what's changing in the field, what companies are actually looking for, how to plan for your interviews and I mean the type of questions that a company would ask. So were you already working with like Deloitte being a senior cloud engineer? I knew you were the best person to go with because you had the experience in the field and basically you prepared me to basically get ready for the job.
For sure, for sure. And can you explain how you obviously landed, this role?
Well, I'd say the great part about the program I actually didn't speak about was like LinkedIn optimization. So like the way I remember, if we actually got on a call, you made me go to AI to basically create my own background because at first I had like this cloud background of my LinkedIn profile. You made me change it to like my email, my phone number, the position I'm looking for, and also the profile, the about me, explaining what I can do in my profile. Because I actually didn't apply for this job. The recruiter reached out to me directly on my email and said, "Hey, I found your LinkedIn profile, and I think you qualify for this role." And basically, from there, I didn't apply for the job. She basically took my resume, sent it over to them, and I started the interview like the next week.
Okay, cool, cool. And how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel after the offer?
Oh, this is great. It feels like because I was actually supposed to do it was supposed to be like a four interview process. Actually just did three. And after the third one, that was like the technical interview with like the deputy director and like the head of infrastructure. And after I did the interview, they told the recruiter I didn't need to do the fourth one. And they just sent me a verbal offer right away. And they already started my background check. So I would say that's even better because I was supposed to go in for my last interview in person, but they told me I didn't need to do that.
Okay, okay, cool. And so let's say somebody watching this video and he doesn't have no prior IT experience or doesn't have any degree or is certifications. Do you think that they can also achieve the same outcome that you also got?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, because the person is like new to IT, I would say the best part of it is basically making sure they document all the projects that they do on their GitHub and basically adding that link to their resume to show the people that they're actually able to implement the concepts that the company is looking for. Like the basically the skill set the company is looking for, they make sure they have like those projects in their GitHub for the company to see they actually have those skills. And but I would say I didn't have really any cloud engineering skills when I joined the program. So I'm basically the same as like anybody starting IT. So the same thing.
Okay, can make sense. And what I always tell people is cloud is not a like rocket science. It's obviously not something special. Also, it's not a easy part. No IT part is actually easy. Either help desk or networking. It doesn't matter. What matters mainly is how much effort you can put in. And I know that I think you finished the first six modules within like eight
Week, yeah.
weeks, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, right? So you basically in my program I have eight modules. Like you did the first six in like 2 weeks, and you pretty much finished the entire program in I think a month ish, technically.
Yeah.
Then
Less than that.
and but the stuff is how many hours do you think you were putting in every single week?
Too many. I'd say I was putting like I'd say in a week.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's some days that I put in like 5 hours. I'd say maybe like 10 hours on average.
right,
Because like whenever I study a new concept, I know, I mean, it's like a 2 3 hour video, so you can't put all the concept in it because cloud is very broad.
exactly.
So I would say the videos actually pique my interest in some concepts that I actually go into like YouTube, watch a video and like deep dive in it and actually get like the whole definition and why you would use this instead of this. Like if you went to the interview and they asked you, why would you use ECS instead of using Kubernetes? Because it would basically do the same thing.
Right,
But you basically get to understand and tell them ECS is a more easier concept to implement because you wouldn't have to take care of like the networking side of it and
uh,
because it's AWS managed, so
right,
all you have to do is take care of like the auto scaling and telling the ECS tags to basically scale it to like four
right.
EC2s instead of like three, and that's it. But with Kubernetes it comes into like it has a lot of complications and different concepts. So I would say outside of the doing the project, you would want to like basically dive into each topic and actually understand it to like the I mean to a great degree. So
For
basically,
sure.
that's your
For sure.
internship. Yeah.
For sure, and I think like one of the biggest issue that most people I was like hearing those big terms, the DevOps, the ECS, AKS, VPCs, those stuff, and they think like it's some extremely complicated stuff. And what would you say to somebody that's currently in that position thinking about like this is stuff is way too hard?
No, it's very easy because if you think about the services that AWS has, you would be actually scared to get in the field because AWS has a lot of services, but there are like main ones that you would use in your everyday job as a cloud engineer. So Akshola, who has worked in the field, is actually narrowing it down to those concepts. And especially with the rise in AI, right now every company allows you to use like Claude
Exactly.
and
Everything
codecs
like
in
that.
your CLI. So you're able to use that to like do like log analysis. Actually, you could create your own Docker file template into how you want it. But usually even the Docker file template is actually done by the software engineering team. So your job is basically including that because the person who did the software knows the dependencies that's needed in the Docker file. So they're able to create the Docker file for you. So yours is basically being able to combine all of that, pushing it in your GitHub and actually creating like the pipeline to basically push the application onto cloud. So the
Absolutely.
job is actually easier in production
I mean, for sure. And well, obviously, after kind of
after you've gained the
learn some,
skills. Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
the skill set is just the most interesting part, right? Like
yeah.
the actual job itself is easier than you think. So
Hmm.
now when it comes to like education, right? How many hours do you think that somebody have to invest into this either this program or at least studying to get the same outcome as you?
Yeah, I feel like I mean, if the thing about me is I actually put in so many hours because I wasn't working. So I knew like I was trying to finish it early so I could get back in the market like very quick. So it's different for somebody who has a job and is like basically trying to upskill and move into like a different role. So with that, I would say if you're spending maybe just make sure you're consistent because a lot of the concepts built on like the previous knowledge that you've acquired. So you wouldn't want to like have a lot of gaps in your studying. So I would say if you're able to dedicate like 2 to 3 hours each day to like study these concepts and actually work on your project and making sure you understand every part of the project that you're doing. One way I did it was like when I'm creating maybe like a VPC, I would ask like ChatGPT, why would I create um a VPC with one net gateway? Why am I creating like a private one instead of a public one? Those type of concepts. That's how you're able to like answer questions in a interview. Like understanding what a subnet is. I mean, understanding security groups, understanding like what a NACO is, and basically breaking those type of questions down.
Okay, makes sense. And did you often think that the program helped you understand like um infrastructure better? Infrastructure, what I'm missing specifically is what you are actually building and why you're actually building that specific thing.
Yeah, because you actually have a lot of summary on the whole project and why we are doing a lot of the stuff. So, yeah, because I would say, well, I came into the program as like a newborn because I didn't know anything about cloud engineering. So, I'm basically coming out like, right, explaining a lot of the concepts. And somebody might think, oh, this guy knows a lot, but I basically studied that within what, like 4 or 5 months? Yeah. So,
Okay, cool. And do you think if somebody with absolutely no experience at all can gain or can actually talk about cloud the same way you are obviously talking about cloud within the same time frame?
yeah, because I would say I knew like most of these concepts in like the first 2 months, and that's me overdoing it. But I would say if somebody breaks it down and they spread it out in like 4 or 5 months, yeah, they will get to the same level. They just have to do the like dedicate the time and basically make sure they're understanding each concept. Because when I
Okay,
came into the program, I didn't really know anything cloud engineering like
okay,
specific.
okay, for sure. And what do you think this program is for?
Beginners. It's
Okay.
for beginners. I mean, it's not just for beginners. If you're also like already and maybe like a entry level cloud engineering role, you're able to join, or even maybe mid level. Because I mean, Shola has like the senior level knowledge. So if you want to get to the senior level, he can also teach you that. So
Okay.
he's always available. He's always available to have a call. So
In
you
a
can
good
ask
way.
him a lot
So,
of
yeah.
questions.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. So, and okay, makes sense. And would you say to somebody kind of thinking about joining us, but like still having doubts?
I mean, just join. I think you have a what do you call it? You have a policy on the program and stuff like that. I
Right.
mean, yeah, I would guarantee like you would gain the knowledge that you need to get a job because when you do Shola always advises us like the projects that we are doing to do it over and over and over and make sure like you understand every project. Like your order, like a lot of questions are about auto scaling, like understanding auto scaling to the core, understanding what target groups are, understanding load balances, understanding what do you
IAMs.
call it? I am understanding launch templates, everything. The rest you're able to use AI to basically, if you understand the concept, you're able to tell the AI to give you what you want because you understand what you're supposed to get after you speak to the AI.
Yeah, for sure.
So mhm.
Right.
Also, actually able to use, I mean, being able to use AI is actually a plus when it comes to like cloud engineering and IT in general. So
For sure, for sure. And
also getting used to it. Mhm.
right, so like that's makes sense to and like is literally what or I make videos about this is still none of this is rocket science. The biggest issue that I see most people have and I remember again when we spoke. I think you were in, was it Ghana then or something. I can't
Yeah.
like when we spoke and you said like the biggest issue you had at that time was obviously the skill sets, right? Like you obviously love cloud. You kind of understand. You see people, working in cloud bar. The money is obviously good. You can make 100, 150, 200, whatever, but you need to gain that skill set first. Gaining that skill set takes time, of course, right? So and if you could you could advise somebody from trying to join this program, what do you think they should focus on first?
I mean, it's getting in the program first. Well, after they get in, like every everything is tailored. Like the concept starts from like the basics of AWS, coming down to like easier projects, then you dive more into like containers. Um, Basically, and you get to like the tech challenges where you have to prove you actually understand the concept because a lot of I mean when you start with the action steps, it gives you like the guideline of what to do on each steps, but when you get to the tech challenge, it's basically challenging you to show the skills that you've learned. So I would say when you're doing the action steps, one trick I actually did was like doing a lot of the projects by myself, and after I watch the video, I'll do it myself. And from there, like when you do like the first three, four, five steps, I mean action steps, the rest you should try doing it by yourself. And from there, it prepares you for like the tech challenges. But one trick was also doing the projects over and over. So you're able to break down documenting the troubleshooting you had to do on like the failures that you had. With that, you're able to answer questions on like when they ask you what type of troubles you face in production and stuff like that. You're able to break those down. So yeah, I'll say just first get in the program and learn everything bit by bit.
Okay, cool. And all about the markets because obviously there are people always talking about this IT is specifically cloud is saturated, right? So like regarding getting job, do you feel that you can get a job whenever or what do you think?
Yeah, you get. There's always jobs. You actually completely said that I wasn't applying to a lot of jobs. I wasn't. I was looking for like the perfect job and stuff like that. That's why because I was looking for. I wasn't applying like I should because in the job market now you have to do like a lot of mass applying to basically get the job that you're looking for. But the jobs are actually available. And the best part of it is when you're actually in a role, it's easier for you to find the next role. But the companies are looking for cloud engineers because especially with AI coming in and stuff like that, infrastructure is very important. Having access to the cloud, having your data backed up in the cloud is still used even with the AI age. So you work with the AI, not the AI taking your job. So there's always job postings. When you check LinkedIn, you're always gonna see new job postings for cloud. So yeah, the job market is bad, but you're still able to land a job.
For sure, for sure. And okay, cool. So last ask one question first. How did you feel before joining the program during your first couple days and obviously now?
Yeah, I mean when I joined before I joined the program, I was basically looking for other like help desk positions to basically just get back in the program. But I knew I wanted to do something in cloud. So my goal was basically to hop back in it. And but I would say me not getting a job and actually having time to dive into the program actually helped me a lot. And after joining the program, I definitely knew, oh, I was gaining the skills that I needed because I was talking to like other people. I would explain like a lot of concepts to people who are actually in like the cloud field or in like the software engineering field. And they're like, oh, it makes like a lot of sense. I would say being able to, oh, that's also a good skill. Like being able to articulate yourself on what you're doing when you're working on a project is a very good skill because that will help you in like interviews.
For sure. Like what that's there's no points knowing knowing a skill set that you cannot explain, right?
Explain.
Because
Yeah. It means you
every
don't really know it.
exactly. So like that's just pretty straightforward. And I don't think I've asked this question yet. Um, how much was your offer?
It's basically 90K.
Right.
But yeah, but the lady was telling me on it's a they work with like a trading company which is worth like 76 billion. So there's like heavy bonuses at the end of the year when you showcase your skills.
Okay.
So yeah.
And okay. So and do
But I'll
you
say
okay? No,
mhm.
so, sorry, go on.
Yeah, but I'll say it's a upgrade on my previous job because I was also working in a different state. So I had to like commute to Jersey and come back home. And it takes me like 1 hour, 30 minutes to get there, come back. Yeah, it was a nightmare. So now I have it in New York City, so I could just take the train over, and it's like 30 minutes. And it's twice. I go into the office twice a week, and I get to choose whenever day I go into the office.
Wow. Okay. Cool. So and
Yeah.
in terms of the skill sets, do you think that you have a skill set that can obviously make more like you used to obviously make more money. Obviously, this is just your first job. Let's say in the next 3 months you want to leave the job and get a different job. Do you think you can confidently go into the market and land any role?
Yeah, it's the same concept. Because I spoke to you earlier, like keep applying. So yeah, I'm actually I actually haven't signed the offer letter yet. So I get to like actually search on other positions because I've also been reached out by another what do you call it recruiter for a DevOps position. So I'm also looking at that. So I'm still going to do like other interviews before I even decide on this company. But yeah, my role, I mean, what do you call it? My plan is basically to keep applying while I'm working and also look for other positions. But yeah, I said my skill set got me this job, so you could get me another job.
For sure. For sure. And
Yeah.
like part of what I obviously preach is um every single person, every single of my students gaining that skill set where they can use it to land, jobs like as many jobs as possible. And obviously, once you have that skill set, there's no way I can take it back. Of course, right? And obviously, and building up from that skill set, keep learning, keep improving, and so yeah, that's basically that's once again, I appreciate you for showing up and yeah, having it on us.
Thank you. See you on Sunday.
I think.
All right.